That's nice. Anyhow. So that's probably the worst part. Wanting a little higher. So I don't live stream normally. Definitely don't normally share my artsy doodle side or not have a plan of what the hell I'm going to do. But it's Saturday and our air conditioner isn't working and it's hot. So I'm in the basement. And I've been watercoloring and I got new brushes. So first off, I wanted to show off that this is my primary palette. So a variety of blues, wide variety of yellows, and primary magentas. This is what the swatches look like. We have Rosa, Daniel Smith, Winsor Newton, and Jackson. Variety here. One of these is yellow ochre. One of them is Mars. I think this is Mars from Daniel Smith and yellow ochre from Rosa. Both PY42. This one is from Rosa. It's golden yellow. It's PY110. This is Jackson yellow. It is PY154. Both of these are PY150. I believe this one's from Daniel Smith, and this one is Winsor Newton. And this is green gold. I'm forgetting the PY for that one. What are these? I think this is 151, which means that this one must be 97. And I forgot this one. Damn. All right. These are pretty different. Indian Throne. This should be the Jackson Ultramarine. Phthalo Blue. I think it's the Winsor Newton one, so PB16. I did not get a Daniel Smith, so both of these must be Rosa. Man, I am definitely going to have to look those up. What a shame. One is Prussian, so this must be Prussian. This sure looks like a turquoise, but I only have single pigment colors. And I thought I would just test out some of my new brushes. So here are, let's start with the old ones. These are some old ones that I was doing acrylic with. And they have been sitting around for a while, and they are surprisingly good for watercolor. I use the round ones. This is a 7, according to Kamina. And they seem to be pretty well numbered with some of these other brands. This one I just grabbed from Temu. These are travel brushes, and I was really impressed. For $10, I got 3 of these with a little bag. But looky, they are Fumui. I guess we're not gonna focus that close, but they're really, really nice. This twisty part did break, so it'll close still, but I won't be able to hold on to. Oh, it's not closing because the collar's gone. Oh well. I can still sort of cover it up. It's a good size. Another fun Temu thing are these squirrel brushes. And I got a few of them. 2 different brands with orange tips. So who knows if they're actually different brands or just relabeled. This one happens to be Dane Ah. Again, it says they're squirrel. When I did a water test, it worked. You're not going to be able to focus on this, but it's all fuzzy. And when it goes in water, all of these things flare out. And this little number 1, my goodness, it holds a lot of water, especially compared to the synthetics. So before we go into any of these, why don't I just give this wasted yellow or green that I mixed a little try with these. All right. So we'll start with the synthetic. Nice and soaked. In fact, let's just make sure that's wet. Yeah, we're good. Just to make sure we give both the squirrel and the synthetic enough of a chance to sop stuff up so you can see. Do that. And probably go a bit. That's about all we can do with the synthetic. Haven't tried this out, but I know darn well that these squirrel brushes, even though we're looking at a number 1 squirrel versus a number 7 synthetic, this is going to go way further. Go about the same thickness. This paper pad said it was 100% cotton, but I'm fairly new to watercolor and I get these pockets like that, so I'm not sure. So we've got about 30-40% further, and if you really look at, like, this is a pretty hard stop to a soft stop, we can even say like 50-60%, depending on how you want to look at it. All right. So, I take it back. This is a number 112 or number 12 travel brush. Let's actually do a comparison of that number 7. Again, give it all you got. Give it all you got. Get it. All right, got about the same amount of space. Holy moly, there's barely anything in this little fajoli. Although it like dropped a whole bunch of water right away. I know, you're not supposed to go over it again. You get weird water spots and whatnot. But good God, let somebody start, would you? All right. So that already was super interesting. Man, I've been using this brush for a while. We're going to go with this one last. And the reason is because this is actually an acrylic or a nail brush for applying acrylics. But it says Kolinsky. It says. But again, it was $9-10 from Temu. So we'll see how well that does. It has not been wet at all, but it is really soft. The point is not as amazing as the actual watercolor brushes, but that's okay. I haven't taken these off yet, so we'll just leave that over there. Let's try this big monster 22. These big fatty handles are supposed to be ergonomic, but I've only kind of set this up a little bit, like gotten rid of the goop that comes on them, but it's a pretty decent little point. And kind of might be running out of the screen, but we'll put it into the water. We got some bubbles coming out, definitely synthetic because it's not flaring out, but here we go. I could just make like a brown and pull in some of this magenta over there. Let's just do it. Nice and ugly colors for first live. Actually, it's not nearly as ugly as I thought, even though there's at least 3 pigments in here. Awesome. Okay. So we'll go back up here. This was another synthetic, totally different brand. This is a monster size 22, and we're barely making it to the edge of the page. But there's a lot of water that just got dumped right there. So it's good to know about that brand. And then this was another travel brush, and it's not actually a screw, so it just is pressure. But this came all by itself, and I think it's a mix of at least animal hair and synthetic, although it looks really similar to my number one size squirrel hair, but it says 12. Who knows? I am putting it in the water, letting it sop it up, doing a test. We've got some flare out, so that's pretty nice. All right, let's just again use this green. No! Use the brown, use what we got. Can you tell I have animals? 2 dogs, 3 cats. All right. I think this is going to go pretty far, so I'll put it down here with this other synthetic example. It's nice and smooth, but we're definitely running out. So it holds about as much as a pretty big synthetic. That was this one. This channel, this video is not suitable for children. No swordplay. All right, this guy, Kolinsky. Let's see. Well, it poofs up beautifully in the water. And the come out, it definitely looks like it's holding a ton of water. Wow. Drip, drip. All right. So let's see what color we can pick up. Oh, I think it's going to go way further than this. But you know, it doesn't. Wow, it's not. It does not brush across the way I would have expected from a Kolinsky watercolor brush. You know, and again, this, you've obviously been mixing all funky, but this has nothing to do with the actual color. Wow, this brush is really stiff, but I can see how this one would be truly amazing for picking up some acrylic and shaping that for some nice long nails. Because when you do that, you're not soaking it like mega dunk tank like this is. All right, so that's going in my nail collection. What do I want to do now? Welcome to live chat. Let's just fudge around. I know. Don't flip it over, it's still wet. I don't care. We're just messing around. Let's just bring in some of these guys. Also some leftovers. I kind of want to mess with the squirrel one. think now's a good time as any to just talk about nothing. Talk about me, talk about random. Ugh. Honestly, I'm emotionally tired, you know? I've been wanting to do this YouTube stuff for a long time. I just don't know what the heck I want to say. I keep trying to make it perfect. And I have so many topics I'm interested in that nothing ever happens. Nothing happens at all. So I thought, why not just do nothing? But get it done. And so here we are. I am a professional coach. I use internal family systems. The company is called Work That Fulfills. And I mostly work with people facing imposter syndrome, especially in creative endeavors, running your own business, changing careers, just career work in general. And I am a late diagnosed ADHD person, which means that I also have a lot of career changes myself, plenty of imposter syndrome that I've had to deal with. As you can see, I am facing some massive procrastination as far as getting on YouTube, believing that I have something to say that'll be coherent and understood by anyone, really, or that anyone will care. But it also means I'm pretty stinking awesome with my clients, if I do say so myself. Actually, if they do say so themselves. Maybe I'll end up editing some of those testimonial videos and actually sharing them with you. But yeah, I get a lot of neurodiverse people. I love working with the parts of us that are holding our shame, are holding our beliefs about ourselves that somehow something we want in the world is just not for us, not gonna happen. One of the things that I have done in very multiple interesting ways is like actually gotten a yes from a boss or a person or a job, and like had these experiences of oh my, it's happening. And then what I end up doing is just sabotaging the whole thing, either with perfectionism or just sort of focusing on like where I'm at today versus what I think it will take months, years down the road. And what this ends up doing is it's actually gone so far as to make me forget important appointments. That was probably one of the worst ones. That was with the California Geological Society, and they did give me another chance. I was very grateful for that. But that is, to me, an exception and not the rule. And if I am totally transparent, because haha, watercolor dad joke, I'm going through something really similar right now. I started putting together an IFS community, especially since uh, the Internal Family Systems Institute announced fairly recently, if I may be so blunt, what a lot of coaches and practitioners feel as a giant FU. Um, and given that these IFS spaces that I was in were some of the most safe, most accepting, like the deepest exploration, personal exploration I've ever done. And I have been doing that a long time, very introspective person. But the fact that I was finally able to say, yes, I trust you, I'll open up, I trust you that you'll actually be there, uh, you know, forgive my transgressions. And this was before the autism diagnosis. Um, and then this massive rejection happened. And they're going in the direction that they see best for themselves, for their goals in IFS. And so, I mean, I get that. But that doesn't mean that thousands and thousands of us need to be displaced. So, um, I decided I was going to start a community of practice. And oh my goodness, in true ADHD form, I I went from 0 to 110 in like a couple of days. I had this amazing idea. I actually built it out. I had all these ideas and for events and ways that we can all connect. I got the name. I started making a logo. The brand is all put together. I mean, it was essentially launchable. But I was terrified that I wouldn't be able to show up consistently um, for all of these events and ideas that I had, right? And I got scared and started self sabotaging. And I know a lot of people out there right now are really trying to, um, we're all seemingly trying to cobble together um, a replacement, if not like something that's even better than the amazingness we had been experiencing. Um, and luckily, I I found another group. Um, it is not IFS Canada. However, um, a good portion of this major stakeholders and planners do happen to be Canadian. And whew, they have been looking for funding and asked me to hold off on launching. So even though I put together an entire project plan, and granted, I didn't necessarily want to like do all of this by myself, like the admin stuff and whatnot. But putting it off for a month when yeah, like I'm still growing my business. I don't have full-time clients. My partner was laid off from his job. All these parts are really nervous and really wanting to get this out there and really wanting to make sure it's amazing. And first, because I have parts that believe first is the one that ends up gaining a lot of traction. But I took the risk, and I am going to wait for a couple more weeks. I'll be done with level 3 come the end of this month, so 10 days from now. And we'll see if this conglomeration of partners can actually make the most amazing and exciting thing happen for, honestly, a group of practitioners and just people that want to heal and live a peaceful life, live their best life, I guess. Oh, yeah. I wanted to do something similar in the UX community when I was coaching and mentoring in that space. And again, like, had the concept, actually pitched it to some partners, not necessarily investors. And I'm so good at confusing people or being very sensitive to, I guess, a rejection, or what I perceive as a rejection. And I'll just say it that way because of a conversation my partner and I had earlier today. So yes, this has been a long time, this concept of a community of practice, of meeting online, of really supporting each other in vulnerable and personal ways. I've been running live meetups. I joined the leadership team of Analyze Boulder. Analyze Boulder started in 2012, but it must have been maybe 2014. And so from then until 2017, when I founded Hexagon UX, and then Hexagon UX up until COVID shut down 2020. That was literally the point of these groups, is to do personal growth and business networking together, and to lead with a vulnerability in this incredibly safe space that I was helping to build. We had a 3-month mentorship program that went statewide. We even had a volunteer from Germany to be a mentor. But it was definitely unique. Whereas a lot of meetings out there are very formal, practical, concrete. Like, you are going to listen to this data science talk, and I'm going to teach you how to, I don't know, do a UX or whatever data thing you want to name, neural network, etc. My meetings, my events, whether they were 5 people or 110, like the regular Analyze Boulder meetings, were much more personal, were much more welcoming of all of our parts and experiences around career, even though I didn't even know about parts work at the time. When it comes to work, especially if you had any sort of repeated tiny trauma or big trauma as a kid, or just some sort of hurt, emotionally distant parent sort of thing. What I've noticed is that people can be very sensitive to work environment, right? And for me, I've had plenty of times where I kind of wished a boss would be more like that parent that I never had, sort of thing, which is not going to go well, which is then going to trigger fight or flight responses when me or you or anyone else imagine not having that paycheck that they need to survive, right? It goes immediately into the exact same unconscious fear that we had growing up, where if we don't have our parent, we will not be able to survive on our own. And this is not something that cognitive tools or practices or psychology therapy is really going to dig into, right? Like, I had therapists help me, sure, but no matter how much I practice, I always had to remember and like translate what I was experiencing, and what I really needed and wanted and believed was possible is just a much deeper healing, so that I didn't have to talk myself out of a worry, let's just say. Like, oh, that person doesn't like me. Am I wanted here? Can I do this? Any of that stuff. I'm freaking tired of talking myself out of those questions, right? Needing to convince myself or give myself treat me like I'm 5, congratulate me like I'm 5, or pep talk or whatever. And I'm super happy to say that my persistence, my absolutely autistic persistence, got me to EFT tapping, matrix reimprinting. ACT was really the start of it, and eventually IFS, and becoming my own IFS practitioner and helping others do, honestly, the deepest, most incredibly transformative work that I have found in my nearly 50 years on this dang rock. So I don't care how long it takes for my business to grow. This is exactly where I'm meant to be, and what I'm meant to give to the world. I can't tell you how many times people compliment me. Oh, you're so vulnerable for sharing that, and to me, it's just like, this is just the way I talk and the way I've wanted to be forever, and to have those spaces, even if I have to create them on my own, and then to give them to other people and see them have incredible benefits from it. What more can I ask for? Besides healthy tomato plants and the squirrels not eating my peaches. I'll say that. But right now it's too hot to go outside and do my gardening. I like this brush. I think I'll keep it. check out this awesome bio. Let's see how thirsty some of those new brushes are. It's pretty good. Not a whole lot of goop or whatever really crunching it down. Number 16, although seriously, is not what I would have expected a number 16 to look like. Kind of stiff. I like the short brushes better than the long brushes. So oddly satisfying. Kind of like the fatness, but then there's just this like extra stick. Yeah. Left-handed. Keep it clean. It's actually my first left-handed painting. Well, watercolor painting. I probably did acrylics actually before. These ones. I wonder why his paint looks like curry. Like it's got these little floaty, spicy bits. Maybe just didn't give it a chance to really melt more. No, you won't get around it. I wouldn't have gotten around at Toyota Orange. I wouldn't have gotten around. How many of you are thinking right now that I water paint or watercolor like an acrylic? I was thinking that. For quite a while, I was doing with these tiny lines. This big fat brush, not as big as this one. This big one. Plus, with these cheeky little hands, cheeky little arrow hands. Worth it. Very stiff brush. I can see that can even hit me. Buddy. Hi, buddy. Good boy. I was just saying the other day how I would get all my little detail stuff back when it was good and ready. Thanks, YouTubers. Let me get it. Mm-hmm. maybe as I get more used to doing these live streams, I'll be able to chat with a bunch of you. I know sometimes as a late diagnosed autistic woman, it's just nice to have the quiet but with somebody else. But we also tend to be verbal processors of sorts. Um, and maybe we're surrounded by neurotypicals that don't really have the bandwidth or the way of relating that other autistic or ADHD adults like us might really love to do. So if you're seeing this, I actually published this live stream, let me know. And hey, while I'm at it, if you would like to be a beta tester for the IFS Healers community, being in the community not only means that you get to chat with a bunch of community members, but we have weekly, almost daily live events where you hop on a Zoom, connect with other people that are either going through the healing process or going through the learning process to become an IFS practitioner or therapist. And we're wanting to practice. We're either wanting to be mindful, everything from being mindful and doing some art together, meditating, to actually doing like level 1, even level 2 deep peer practices and PA-led practices, all included in the monthly subscription. And you can show up as many times as you want. So you could potentially be doing IFS every darn day for one low monthly fee. I think this is like the third car commercial I've been thinking of, so I must not be in a very marketing mood. But thanks for watching.